Chapter 8, Hidden Blocks. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Another quote from Carl Jung. And that is the essence of this chapter. We've all had that experience of setting a goal for ourselves and then feeling like self-sabotage gets in the way. So what the essence of the learning here is about how to create some integration, how to make space and proactively understand that we are going to have different parts of ourselves that aren't always in alignment with these future goals. There's often parts of us that would prefer things stay the same, even if that doesn't entirely make sense. It's kind of an aspect of people, the phrase, you prefer the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. So for example, somebody with depression or anxiety clearly wants to feel better, but yet that process of change and healing moves us into fears of the unknown and new territories, and that alone can be scary. And when we're dealing with anxiety or depression, adding things that are more scary into our system can really make us freeze. It can be paralyzing. So the essence here of what we're addressing is really how to get out of our own way. How to, when you make a goal of personal transformation or healing, how to be so aligned with that goal that you have made space for those other voices inside that sometimes want to self-sabotage. Let's take a deeper look at secondary benefits. So again, these are the benefits that a person gains from maintaining their behavior or their situation, even if it's problematic. So an example with a fear of change might be somebody who wants to quit smoking. They know that smoking is detrimental to their health, and yet they might fear how else they might cope or de-stress or take breaks. They might even fear weight gain if they find themselves mindlessly eating. So even though they know that smoking's not good for them, they fear what might come next, the unknown of what happens if I quit smoking and that uncertainty. So that can keep somebody blocked into the old way of being. Secondary gains are benefits around identity and self-concept. That an example there might be if somebody identifies as a caretaker. If they are finding that they are actually stressed and burnt out, they might avoid delegating tasks because they still want to be seen as the person who people can always come to, or people can always ask for help. I can always take care of everything. Another example might be somebody who identifies as the clown or the humorous one. If they want to give themselves permission to be more authentic and have a wider range of emotions, they might fear, though, how people will look at them differently. Or they might think that the only reason that people were friends with them was because they were the funny ones. Attention and validation. So what an example there often comes up with something like if somebody's depressed or unwell, we often get attention. We give attention to people who are struggling. And so even though somebody no longer wants to be depressed, they might feel like they're going to lose that attention. They're going to lose that connection to others. Most people don't really want sympathy, and they certainly don't want pity, and yet it can be something that makes things kind of sticky about changing, because we feel that like our relationship to people is based on how it is now. And so losing that attention and a fear of change can help us stay in those old patterns. And this is with the comfort and the familiarity. It's that devil you know versus the devil you don't know. People often feel like, well, this is something that I understand. I've been here before. Maybe I should just put up with it. I don't really know if I want change. And we can resist things that are unfamiliar because they're scary. So there's a lot of different ways to look at secondary benefits and gains. There's the different hidden blocks that happen and this essence of self-sabotage. But the idea is when you can start to understand the fears underneath it and to be able to decipher what's really going on when you fall into self-sabotage or when you find yourself being in your own way, to understand that's a part of you that actually needs attention. It needs to be included in the goal setting or the plan for change. And when you accommodate space for that part of yourself, you'll find that even though some fears or resistance happens, you're more easily able to adapt, integrate, and continue moving forward. So this chapter is really short, but the what's so important about it is that you take the time to do these reflections, because you need to make it yours to understand what is personal to you. And here are some really important questions to take your time with. What do I gain from my anxiety? Imagine a world without anxiety, and how would it be different? Where and when do I feel especially blocked and unable to change or move forward? What are the hidden fears or secondary gains there? What beliefs or thoughts do I have that lead me to self-sabotage? What is my self-talk when facing a challenge or a setback? Do I procrastinate or avoid taking action when I need to do something that is important to me? And how can I interpret the hidden beliefs or fears in that procrastination? Am I afraid of success or afraid of what others might think if I achieve my goals? And have I achieved something I really wanted only later to undermine it in some way? How and why? This completes Chapter 8 on hidden blocks. Please take your time to really explore how these aspects show up in your life and what they mean to you and how you can integrate them so that you can move forward in your process of transforming anxiety.